Hey, my name is Justin K. Miller, and the last couple days have not been great on the Helium network. Sadly, POC version 11 was implemented, Proof of Coverage version 11, and then it was rolled back. I have watched my numbers in terms of rewards decline the last couple days, and it's been a bummer. I know a lot of people have been complaining about it, but I also have to say, things go up, things go down. That's just the ebb and flow of helium mining. So you can't count on the numbers always being the same, and you have to accept when things change. That said, try to optimize for the best. Try to get things the way that you can make sure that you have the best situation for the best outcome. Okay, with that being said, since I've started this channel, I've been getting a lot of people asking me questions, and sometimes maybe I don't feel I'm clear enough in some of my answers. So I wanted to go over some of this with you. For some of you who are looking to start helium mining, the first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is find a helium miner, right? Or at least know where you can buy one when you're ready to buy. So once again, if you go to helium.com here and go under mine, you can scroll down and you can see all of the different types of miners that are available out there. Many of them are very hard to find right now. One of the easiest things to locate is the Rack Wireless Minted. And the Minted site is right here. They have two types. They have the black spot miner, which is $3.99, and the gold spot miner, which is $4.79. And they do a drop, and this is for the United States that I'm talking about. They do a drop of about like 10,000 miners every couple weeks. The next one being in 5 days, 18 hours, and 25 minutes. That means it's available on November 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Now, that's important to note because honestly, these miners sell out in about 15 minutes. And based off of the last drop that they did, they had about 90% of their miners be the gold spot miners. So my recommendation is if you're going to do this and, watch their Twitter feed. They talk about it all the time right here. Oh, wait, now they're saying 8 p.m. Pacific time. Now I'm a little confused here. The 8 p.m. Pacific time here says here 9 a.m. I'd come early. I'd make sure you're there at the time, the earliest time, because like I said, they sell out in about 15 minutes, and like I said, they had the more gold spot miners than they had black spot last time. So if you want one, and you can only purchase one or maximum two, I would be there at that time. They also have a new form of security. You may want to check that out. I think it's in one of the tweets. If you want to go through their Twitter feed, that might be a good way of finding out what you need to do to make sure that you can get through their security. There was a ton of people who got denied the last round, and they're going to be back for this round here on the 16th. So that's a great way to go if you are looking to get a miner right away. As you can see over here, I've got my setup from the last video I did. All my miners up and ready to go. I'm looking to put these in houses right now, and getting this into a business, it's tough. It's hard to find people who will want you to put these in your house, their house. Sure, your house, your family's house, maybe even your friends, easy to do, but strangers, that's tough. Now, I've contacted people through multiple systems in order to try to find locals who are interested. In fact, if you're interested in me putting a miner in your house and having me pay you to do it, I'm happy to talk to you too. Feel free to put a message in the comments and I'll definitely read it. But that all being said, I'm working towards this process. And as you are looking towards this process too, let's figure out the best way to determine what you can earn in your location. Now, I bring this up because I recently dropped a miner downtown. Now, when I say downtown, I mean downtown Denver. And while it looks nice and pretty here, you can see all of these high numbers. And if I switch it over to see the transmit scale to know how much rewards I can expect from these, yeah, they're in the red. And because this miner is downtown, even though it's 8 dBi, 5 meters up, unfortunately in a condo, meaning it's out a window and blocked on one side, I'm not getting that much in rewards. I'm getting like well, at this point with H&T being worth somewhere around $45, I'm getting $5.50 a day. Now, keep in mind, because of POC v11 and all the problems that happened recently, meaning that it got rolled back and there were issues with it, the network has been giving a little less than it usually is. So, I'm hoping those numbers will do better soon enough. But a great way of finding out what something is going to do is locating where it's going to be here on the map. If you go to explore.helium.com and then click on miners that are right around you. You can just jump on these different hexes and then look for the ones that make the most money, like Ancient Mossy Octopus. They're getting 8, almost 9 HNT in a 30-day period. Wow, they got definitely more coverage here. And I can look and see that they're using a 5.8 dBi antenna. That is 8 meters up. So that's what I've been suggesting at my new drop. I need to get it on the roof. Haven't been able to get on the roof. It's in the window on one side of a condo. But if I can get it on the roof, hopefully we can be looking, well, as you can see, their earnings are about 0.374 HNT, or about $16 a day. So love to see that. Love to see that. But it's definitely tougher when you're downtown than when you're in other areas. My focus has been finding people willing to host my miners up here. Now, that was one example of how you can try to figure out how well you can do for your miner. Another is to use something like Hotspotty. I would definitely suggest you go under locations, create your location here, and then once you have, you can go in and zoom into that section and see what you could expect to get in that area. One of the nice things here, as I've mentioned before, is you can go under appearance settings and you can turn on elevation contours, and that'll give you an idea of where you're going to be blocked, where the signal is not going to reach. And that's definitely a big issue as I look around and help other people. Few of you have contacted me, and I've given you advice about where you can place things, whether it's a good location or a bad location. But just using these two things, hotspotty.net, as well as the standard Helium, and if you go to helium.com/mine, this right here, view network map, use the network map. Network map is easy enough. And again, one big thing to consider is what hotspots you're going to be able to witness. So use that transmit scale option in the lower right hand corner, go into those areas and figure, if you don't have as much green, you're not going to be making as much money. Some of you may not be familiar with this, so I'm just going to say it once again. When you're looking at this process, the way of making money is either getting witnessed, meaning these total witnesses right here are people who are witnessing your hotspot beaconing, or you witnessing the beacons of other hotspots. That, for proof of coverage, is how you make those rewards, and the better option is to be around green rewards. Now, it's interesting as I'm looking around here, this person is relayed. Relayed is a tough situation. Relayed means that data is not getting through. Relayed means that you won't have any witnesses here. You may be able to see others' beacons, but nobody's going to be able to see you. For those of you not familiar on fixing your relayed system, I can't show you every system out there, but I can show you mine. And sorry, I got to enter in my password here to make this happen. So I use CenturyLink. In CenturyLink, you would go under Advanced Setup. Now, the nice thing about something like CenturyLink is that they do store the devices that are attached to your system. So in order to get out of relayed mode, you're going to want to go to port forwarding here, and you would enter the device, in my case, this Helium hotspot here, and then set it to have a selected protocol of TCP, and then use for the starting point 44158, and then ending port 44158. That's all you need to do. As you can see, I've already done this at the bottom. And then you can actually verify this works by going to a place like port checker. I think it's portchecker.co. And on portchecker.co, it should already find your current IP address, the IP address of your house if you're doing this at your house or wherever you're doing it, and then put in that port 44158, and then check it to verify the port is open. Now, that one house I showed you, the one that I'm currently dealing with downtown, the condo, it still says relayed. It's been saying relayed for 4 days. But yesterday, I started getting witnesses. And once I started getting witnesses, I knew that the port was open, even though it says hotspot is being relayed. So I know I'm good. So that's one thing. I see a lot of people saying it still says relayed, even though my portchecker.co says that it's open. Yeah, that happens. Give it time. I'm gonna give it 4 days, honestly. And as I said that to the person who lives there, sure enough, yesterday they started getting witnesses, and they were happy. So just something to think about. If you're not getting witnesses, like so many people here, I don't understand why they don't open their ports. Look at all of these people. Why I don't understand why they don't just sell their hotspots to you and me that could make better use of them, right? Okay. So one other thing I was going to mention is, recently I had an issue. I said I was going to be setting up these hotspots, putting them in people's houses. I was going to create contracts between me and them. Finally found a person, created a contract. I called it a hosting agreement. And in the hosting agreement, I basically laid out who I was, who they were, how much was involved, where they lived, and that I would pay them once a month X amount of money until a point at which any time either of us could cancel the agreement, at which time my equipment would be returned and a prorated amount depending on, when it happened. Very simple agreement. I didn't want to get into any heavy details because honestly, it's hard to find somebody who's willing to do these agreements, and I didn't want to scare them away. So that being said, I had to look at their location, and there you go. Their location was not that great, but I used the other information of the people around, and I pump it into explorer.helium.com to see how people around them do. So this person is offline. Yay! They're not going to cause me problems. Generally, if somebody's offline, as long as they're offline for, I believe it's 3,600 blockchains, parts in the blockchain. I think that's a day or two. I'm not really sure how long that takes. But point being is they go offline and their numbers will not affect your numbers. But anyway, looking around, I got excited because some people were making some good money. This person, 13 HNT a day. Now remember, numbers are low today because of the whole rollback situation. But look at that. Neighbors are hitting all of this green area. That gets me excited. Looking at some of the other people right around that person, 13. Oh, they're offline. Interesting. Wow, they've been offline for most of November, but they were making 13.7. I love seeing that these people are offline because that better improves my chance of ensuring that this house is going to stay at a transmit scale that's higher. Now, that doesn't really matter for me making money, but my house is close to them, and I want more greens around me so that when I witness their beacons, I make more money. So everybody, please, yes, it doesn't matter if you are actually in the red or in the green, but if you try to make yourself in the green, you'll make everybody more money in the long run, and that's a positive thing. Okay, here's another one, 11.5 HNT. Not doing well right now. You see this person, though, is hitting more downtown, which is in the red, so they're not going to be making as much money. My hope is I want to hit as much up here. Now, they're 12 meters up, but they claim to have a 2.3 dBi antenna. I don't know how true that is, but I have to look at these numbers. This person who's offline right now was 8 dBi antenna, 8 meters up. So anyway, I went to this person's house, had them sign the paperwork, all excited, went up to their attic, and I could not find a plug. It was very sad. No plug. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But so I gave up at least at that point. I said I was going to find a way to get power into their attic and figure it out, and I'll get back to them. So I went home, and the only thing I can say, they didn't have any plugs in their closet, and their closet was how you get into the attic. I did find, however, that they had connections ready to go for your entertainment system, which meant while it wasn't finished, they had Ethernet wiring that went from a place where there was a plug into the attic. So I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to go in and get something like this. So first of all, I realized that a rack uses 2.4 amps, which means that you want a AC adapter here that is 3 amps, so 5 volts, 3 amps. But I'm adding fans to my systems, and these fans are going to be on all the time. Now, if the fan is 0.25 amps. So with 0.25 amps, like I said, you want an 80% number. So even though that only brings up the amperage from of the Raspberry Pi from 2.4 to 2.65, I'm still going to want at least something that's 80% higher than that number. Sorry, 80% higher. A number that has that 20% more power. So the 3 amps is not going to work. I ended up getting a 4 amp system for that. And then I had to figure out how to wire it through Ethernet. Now, the Ethernet ends weren't connected. It's just a cable. So I'm not going to get into it and try to make that Ethernet cable work. It's not even near anything that I can use Wi-Fi for. I'm basically going to use the copper connections in it and utilize some connections like these right here. These are DC power connectors that are usually used for CCTV cameras. But they have everything that you need basically to connect. There's one end and there's the other, and there's just basically screwdriver parts there to unscrew and put wiring in. So I'm just going to go get some speaker wire and connect all of that up and get power into the attic. So that's my plan. I realize, hey, but beggars can't be choosers. This house could be potentially making me, with an 8 dBi antenna in the attic, somewhere between 10 to 15 HNT a month, and I'm not going to lose out on that. So, just my last thoughts, you guys. These things are going to happen. If you really want to make this into a business and get people to let you put stuff in their house, beggars can't be choosers. And if you have a good situation in front of you, you got to figure out how you're going to make it possible. All right. I hope some of this information has been helpful for you. One thing I also want to mention is some people were asking me in the comments below to explain smart plugs. These are the smart plugs here. Smart plugs, you're basically setting up. I got these at Costco, and you basically connect them. Once you connect them in the wall, you instantly want to connect them onto the Wi-Fi with your phone app. And once those two are connected, you can just turn them on or turn them off, or know that they're not getting power if it shows them as off. So yeah, it's a great way of making sure that if there is a problem and you can't get into that house, you can at the very least do a hard reset, meaning shut off that device, shut off that rack or Bobcat or Syncrobit or whatever you have, that hotspot, wait 30 seconds and then power it on again, and hopefully things will get back to normal very quickly. But a lot of times, I mean, how often have you heard somebody in support say, did you shut down and restart the system? So hard resets are the first thing you got to try in any given situation. All right, thanks for watching. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. You all have a great day.